Hi, everybody. I'm Bryan Mudd, a fan of South Plains politics. Here's your talking points for this week. Governor Abbott in Lubbock shooting down the call to end the Permanent University Fund. But is it wise for Texas Tech to turn down a $1 billion counteroffer? And state teachers could sure use some of that money. Add in shortages and pandemics, and we've got a serious education problem to address in Texas.
From the studios of KAMC Television in Lubbock, your local election headquarters. This is Talking Points with Bryan Mudd.
And thanks for being with us, everybody. Also this week, law and order. It really is, in the end, the one political issue everyone agrees on. The safety of lives and property is essential, and endorsements from first responder groups, like firefighters and police officers, and ideas on how to improve those situations traditionally score a candidate big points with voters. For example, businessman Pat Kelly making another run for the Lubbock City Council in District 1. He's a businessman and also a retired police officer, and says he has some ideas on how to reduce violent crime. Of course, we've seen Gary Boren make crime the major issue for his latest county judge campaign. And sadly, these aren't empty campaign phrases when it comes to Lubbock. Police Chief Floyd Mitchell made his annual crime report to the City Council this past week. Property crimes are down, response times are down, but violent crimes here are not what they should be. And KAMC's Ryan Chandler takes a closer look.
Last year, vehicular manslaughters and homicides more than doubled. Traffic stops, citations, warnings, and charges all up by near 40%, and DWI arrests up by 45%.
We're going to call on our restaurants and bar establishments to help us by shutting people off when they know they had too much. We're going to ask them to help these folks get safe rides home.
Just part of their efforts to stress the public's role in public safety. Out of the 31 homicides in 2021, Chief Mitchell says there's one common type of weapon responsible for many of them.
When we make these arrests in regards to these violent crimes, it's a stolen gun.
Stolen handguns, often swiped from cars, a crime against property, often leading to crimes against people. The city urging LPD to increase their efforts to prevent it.
I would like to see a plan for us to take more guns off the street. I mean, I think this council will be willing to help find a way to fund that.
The chief saying as Lubbock continues to change, the public must take responsibility.
First of all, take your gun out of your car. How about we start right there? Because I think that is important for our community to understand. We're not that sleepy town anymore. And what is, people say, well, I have a gun to protect me. And I have no problem with that. But that gun is doing you no good in an unlocked car while you're in the house. Sleep. Take your gun out of your car.
Ryan Chandler, KAMC News.
And running for re-election for county judge right now is this guy, Curtis Parrish. Good to see you again.
Good to see you, Brian. Thank you.
All right, your opponent's campaign is prefaced largely by an anti-crime stance, that he could and would do more to stamp out crime in and around Lubbock County. So can and could you have done more to be a county crime fighter?
Well, I think from the beginning, what we decided to do when we saw that the Lubbock County Sheriff's Department had some serious needs when we came into office. One of the biggest needs that we saw is response time. And funding the Sheriff's Department is the one thing that the county judge can do. And so my first year in office, we decided that we needed to add a new patrol division to the Sheriff's Department, which we did. We fully funded that new patrol division. And then, of course, last year we asked the voters of Lubbock County to walk beside us as we took care of our deputies, as we dealt with the issue of pay disparity and recruiting and training and retaining. And so to the tune of probably about $10.5 million that we've infused into the Sheriff's Department over the last 3 years. Also funding the TAG, which is our Texas Anti-Gang Task Force, and they've been very, very busy lately. And so it is from a administrative point of view, that's what we can do to fight crime, to make sure that our professionals have the tools, the equipment, and the personnel they need to protect and serve the people of Lubbock County.
Of course, you mentioned the tax increase was voted on by the public last year.
Yes, sir.
One ad running now by people who would like you out. It says, you have raised taxes every year since you've been county judge. What do you say to that?
Well, my first year, we actually adopted, and I proposed and we adopted the effective tax rate, which, as you know, lowers the tax rate for the people of Lubbock County. Now, the second year, we kept it the same. So we just kept the tax rate the same from the first year, that effective tax rate. We carried that over to the second year. And, of course, this past year was my third year, And the only tax raise that we proposed was the one that we brought to the people of Lubbock County.
A story that was published on our website this week alludes to a link between Tyler Technologies getting a software contract with the county and that Mayor Dan Pope is an independent director with Tyler, that he profited and also contributed then to your campaign. Do you know if the mayor had any influence on the initial decision to go with Tyler?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
That decision was made before I became county judge. And I have not had any conversations with the mayor about Tyler Technologies at all.
So it was never part of any other further negotiations about deal or anything like that?
No, sir.
Ever discuss this with you?
No.
Outside the courthouse or city hall, anywhere?
Never.
Did you know he was a part of Tyler?
Honestly, I didn't know he was on the board of Tyler until probably just recently when I got a call from your executive producer to tell me that very thing.
Do you see why some would think that it would be an issue from you then accepting a campaign donation from someone who's in that position and has been a part of Tyler and the whole thing?
Well, again, you'll have to ask Mayor Pope why he donated to the campaign. But for the past 3 years, he and I have worked very closely together. And I'm not apologetic for that, because I do believe that government that works together works best. And because of our relationship and how we're able to work the city and the county together has been to the benefit of all of the people of Lubbock County. We've had some great strides in roads, in the Ports to Plains project, Loop 88, and that's just the transportation issues. Plus, we've also, between the mayor and I and President Skuvanek at Texas Tech, John Osborne at LEDA, we were able to jointly go together and attract Leprino Foods to come to Lubbock. So, and then that's not counting, you know, just trying to deal over the last 2 years with COVID and coming together for the city and the county for the benefit for all of the citizens of Lubbock County. And I do believe that that's very important because I work very closely, not just with the city government, but with the smaller city governments in Lubbock County, with our state and federal leaders as well.
Is it a common practice, as you see it, for elected officials to donate money, campaign money, to someone who's running a separate race?
Yeah, it happens a lot. If you look at it. In fact, I've received a campaign donation from Dustin Burrows, Representative Burrows.
Are there any state and federal campaign rules that would make that illegal or unethical or anything like that?
No, sir.
Commissioner Corley and others spoke this week about the county's failure to move forward in a meaningful way as they see it on the Expo Center project. A lot of that was dumped at your feet, a failure of leadership kind of thing. What do you say to that?
Well, when the voters of Lubbock County passed this in November of 2018, which happens to be the same day I was elected Lubbock County judge, they were told that this was a $55 million project, that it was a joint public-private partnership, and that there would be limited, if no, involvement of the county government into this project, that the private folks were going to build this. $55 million. Because of the tax, and we're talking about that hotel occupancy tax, that's the only amount that we're funding. We're not putting one single dime of ad valorem tax in there. We can bring to the table $30 million. That's what the bond capacity of what we're collecting is. In November of 2018, it was $30 million to go along with a $55 million project. Now, this private partnership, part of the private partnership, has now ballooned this project to $124 million. But Lubbock County still has $30 million. And we're ready to go. We are absolutely ready to go out and issue those bonds tomorrow, if the private folks can do their job and get the fundraising together, make sure that the project that we're building, we can see to fruition. We cannot turn dirt until we have the funding secured.
What's the one thing you want people to remember about your term as county judge to this point?
Lubbock County is in good shape. And economically, Lubbock County, with Leprino coming in, that's a game changer. That's a $1 billion plant that would be built in East Lubbock, generating over $1 billion a year into the economy of Lubbock. I'm very proud of the fact that we were able to go out and attract this company to come in. They're a great company. They're going to be a great asset to the economy of Lubbock, and I'm proud to serve as the county judge, and I continue to work hard for the people of Lubbock County.
Lubbock County Judge Curtis Parrish, good luck to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
And coming up, could you turn down $1 billion? Of course not. But what if fighting a political fight might get you even more? Tough question. And a lot of Lubbock voters also looking for the answer of whom to choose for the open House District 84 seat. Interesting group of candidates. Thoughts on the campaign from our man Jay Leeson. Next on Talking Points.